Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Cholapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Wednesday, April 6th of 2016. Let's take a look at today's news. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. Thailand celebrates Chakri Day on the 6th of April. This day signifies the founding of the Chakri dynasty, which spans more than 200 years when Bangkok was first established as the nation's capital. And here's a story on the importance of Chakri Day with Kun Sotchun Lim Krieng Krai.
The 6th of April is Chakri Day in Thailand. It is a celebration of the House of Chakri, from which the current royal family originates. The first of the Chakri dynasty was Rama I, Chao Praya Chakri Puthayot Fa Chula, who became king of Siam on the 6th of April 1782. One of Chakri's first acts was to establish Bangkok as the new capital. Chakri Day commemorates the coronation of Rama I. But it is also to recognize the contributions of all the kings in this dynasty. It is usual for the people of Thailand to celebrate this day by expressing their thanks to the kings of the Chakri dynasty. They often do this by putting flowers on statues of Rama I. The royal family also performs a special ceremony to pay respects to their ancestors. The current king of Thailand is King Rama IX, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who has reigned in Thailand since 1946. His Majesty the King Bhumibol Adulyadej is the 9th king of the dynasty and the longest reigning monarch in the world. Ceremonies will be held at Temple of the Emerald Buddha and other temples throughout the country to mark this auspicious day.
The Cabinet has approved draft regulations related to white shrimp farming in a bid to ensure higher quality and food safety in the Thai shrimp industry. General Prayut Chan-o-cha welcomed and congratulated Mr. Garnier on his new role as trade envoy to Thailand. Mr. Garnier has extensive experience in Southeast Asia. The Thai Prime Minister said he hopes the United Kingdom will restore strong diplomatic relations with Thailand. He also assured the British envoy that Thailand is determined to return democracy to its people. The Thai Prime Minister further stated that the country's economic foundations remain strong and continue to improve. He added that the Thai government in 2016 represents a year of investment incentives. British investors have been encouraged to invest in state projects such as in water management and railway development. Mr. Garnier said British investors recognize the investment opportunities in Thailand as the country is considered a gateway to the ASEAN region. The British trade envoy said later that he wanted to see the Thai government amend the Foreign Business Act and make some changes to the notification of the alcoholic beverages control in order to improve the ease of doing business in Thailand for the British private sector. And of course, to the white shrimp farming story now, the Cabinet did approve draft regulations to white shrimp farming in a bid to ensure high quality and food safety in the Thai shrimp industry. Following the weekly Cabinet meeting, Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Wirachon Sukhontapatipak announced that the Cabinet agreed to the proposed regulations for white shrimp production. He pointed out that shrimp is one of Thailand's most important exports. However, the white shrimp farming sector recently suffered an outbreak of early mortality syndrome. In an effort to restore confidence in the quality and safety of shrimp products from Thailand, the deputy spokesman said the new regulations on white shrimp farming were given the green light.
To regulation on shrimp farming and quality control. As we know, marine shrimp are significant export products of Thailand, but recently this industry was set back by the early mortality syndrome epidemics in the white shrimp farming industry. Therefore, the Cabinet today has now approved draft ministerial regulation on enforcement of production standard for white shrimp farming. This will include clear regulation and practices that must be complied with farmers to ensure the safety and quality of marine shrimp.
The Panyapiwat Institute of Management, which was tasked by the Ministry of Commerce to study the implications of the Trans-Pacific Partnership or TPP, has found the deal to be beneficial to Thailand, as Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Jatusipitak has called for negotiations to begin next year. Dr. Somkit revealed that he had studied the report presented by Commerce Minister Apiradi Tantraporn and has called for the ministry to draft an action plan and timeline for negotiations and further studies on the TPP's impact on various sectors. He also called for the setting up of a committee to examine the country's various industrial groups in order to inform negotiations early next year. The Deputy Prime Minister has also called for the ministry to coordinate with other agencies to abide by the government's policies to support start-ups and government projects with private sector participation under the government's Pracharat or civil state model. The Joint Standing Committee on Commerce, Industry and Banking, or JSCCIB, has revised its forecast for export growth this year to 0 to 2% due to the slow global economic recovery. The JSCCIB said the Thai economy showed steady growth in February due mainly to tourism sector. However, the month of February also recorded low levels of private investments and domestic consumption. The export sector will likely continue its pattern of slow recovery despite recording its first growth in 13 months. As the global economy is still recovering, the export sector is not expected to reach its target growth of 2% this year. However, the JSCCIB has left Thailand's economic growth forecast at 3 to 3.5%, buoyed by the government's planned infrastructure investments and robust tourism. The rate of inflation will stay within the range of 0 to 1% this year. The Ministry of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Industry have paved the way for Thailand to become an electric car production base by standardizing charging outlets for larger electric vehicles. The outlet standard was selected by both ministries and related agencies, including the Thai Industrial Standards Institute, the Bangkok Mass Transit Authority, the Electricity Generating Authority of Thailand, the Provincial Electricity Authority, the Metropolitan Electricity Authority, and the National Science and Technology Development Agency. These organizations determined that the IEC 62196 Type 2 outlets and sockets would work best in Thailand. The specification is now being reviewed by the Technical Committee of the TISI. Dr. Saran Samrit Khajon, Executive Director of National Electronics and Computer Technology Center or NECTEC, revealed that while the outlet is for larger vehicles, it is also compatible with personal cars. Dr. Saran asserted that outlets and sockets are the basic elements of electric appliances, which is why Thailand must first decide on a standardized component. He explained how the related agencies arrived at the decision to select the IEC outlets and sockets.
Well, I think this is the starting point for Thailand, and what we are currently doing is just the first step to achieve the Thai standard. The first step is about the technical selection. We look at the parameters, the important ones. For example, the power, the maximum power of the outlet and socket that they can accept in the volt and amperes. We look at the firmware, which is the communication protocol that the outlet or socket can be communicated with each other, and also to the smart grid too. And we also look at the way that should be people use it, not the obstruction. So it should be easy for them. So when we look at these parameters, we also map with the international standards available today and look at whether which one is fit with our important parameters. And currently it's come up with the IEC 62196 Type 2 configuration FF.
Turning to our next story, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment held the second regional dialogue on preventing the illegal logging and trade of Siamese rosewood, as well as other protected wildlife products. Newsline's Nirnut Wanit has more.
The Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation, under the supervision of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, organized the second regional dialogue on preventing illegal logging and trade of Siamese rosewood in order to find efficient and tangible solutions for the threatened species in the region. The meeting was attended by delegates from many countries, including Cambodia, China, Thailand, and Vietnam, as well as attendees from local, international, government, and non-governmental sectors. Thanya Netithamkun, Director General of the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation, said that Thai government has been combating illegal trade of Siamese rosewood for a decade. However, a number of trading activities has not reduced due to the demand in the black market. Recently, the government has made this issue a priority, not only in a national level, but also in international arenas, given that it is a serious crime that decimates critical endangered species and destabilizes economic and political security in the country and the region.
Siamese rosewood was listed on Appendix 2 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species for international protection as proposed by Thailand and Vietnam since 2013. It has clearly stated good attention of all parties to associate in international protection and law enforcement mandate to act for this cause. 1 year after that, Thailand took the laudable step to host the first regional dialogue on preventing illegal logging and trading of Siamese rosewood in Bangkok. The meeting presented an invaluable opportunity for range, transit, and consumer states to establish cooperative actions and policy capable of protecting rosewood.
This issue is always listed as an important mission for Thai delegates to discuss with related ASEAN member countries in all ASEAN meetings, especially in Indochina sub-region, to initiate appropriate solutions to reduce demand of Siamese rosewood. I'm Nirnut Wanit reporting.
The Ministry of Defense has met with related agencies on preparations for the upcoming Songkran celebrations at Wat Pathum Wanaram in downtown Bangkok. General Puchong Pongsiri, head of coordination at the Ministry's Center for Solving Security Problems, joined other officials from the Ministry of Interior, the Department of Cultural Promotion, the Royal Thai Police, military units and the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration at a security meeting ahead of the Songkran Festival. The discussions aim to ready security personnel for duties in and around Wat Pathum Wanaram on Ramawan Road in Pathumwan District during the Songkran festivities scheduled for this April 13th. Together, they went all over the security measures which will be implemented for the safety and convenience of both Songkran revelers and bystanders. Within the event, there will be merit-making activities, bathing of the principal Buddha image of Wat Pathum Wanaram, and the traditional ceremony of pouring water on elders, or in this case, the Thai Culture Minister and foreign diplomats. Meanwhile, Suvarnabhumi International Airport is establishing a coordination center to facilitate passenger traffic during the annual Songkran Festival between April 8th and 18th. During this period, the airport expects to accommodate more than 166,000 people per day. Director of Airports of Thailand, or AOT, Sirod Duangrat, said the figure would mark a 7% increase from the same period last year. The passengers will consist of over 1.5 million international travelers and over 295,000 domestic passengers. The festival will have a total of 10,296 flights throughout the period. That is a 5.7% increase from the same period last year. This figure consists of 8,064 international flights and 2,230 domestic flights. The AOT director said the new passenger facilitation center to be set up during the festival will serve to ensure safety and provide convenience for passengers. The center will be located on the 4th floor lobby behind the R-Line ticketing booth. The center will collect traffic data to be used for adjusting manpower and service capacity as needed, while allocating personnel for check-ins, baggage inspections and passport checkpoints. He also revealed that the AOT has increased the number of security officers while coordinating with law enforcement to provide additional personnel and increase the frequency of inspections for in- and outbound shipping and baggage. Mr. Sirot encouraged passengers to take advantage of automated services such as the self-check-in service and automatic passport inspections. And if you're looking for gifts to give during the Songkran festival, Minister attached to the office of the Prime Minister, Mom Luang Panatta Disakun, has invited the public to visit the Thai Loincloth Fair or the Pak Khao Ma Fair and buy souvenirs on the occasion of the Songkran festival. Held at Big C Ratchdamri Shopping Mall, the Loincloth Fair features cotton fabrics made by various communities and 5-star OTOP products. The fair is expected to help preserve the local wisdom of loincloth weaving in Thailand. Mom Luang Panatta said that the Thai Pak Khao Ma is unique and Thai people have been passing on the wisdom and culture of Thai loincloth weaving for a long time now. He urged the fair's visitors to buy fashion garments and other products made from loincloth as souvenirs or presents for their relatives during the Thai New Year festival, which is coming up next week. And that's it for today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next in ASEAN News, we will have a look at the ASEAN Editors Summit being held in Malaysia. But first, here's a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. Please stay right here with us on Newsline.
Pad Thai, created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
ASEAN Political and Security Community. Prevent being deceived. Prevent being forced. Prevent being injured. The problem of human trafficking in children, women, and labor has been increasingly severe. Thailand and the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights are working together to get rid of these problems in order to be fully accepted by the international community. One vision, one identity, one community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. I'm Cholapansa Navrula. This year's ASEAN Editors Summit has commenced in Malaysia, where journalists will exchange views on cultivating cooperation between ASEAN member countries. The Malaysian Ministry of Communications and Multimedia and the Malaysian National News Agency hosted the event from April 5th till 6th, which welcomed news editors from the 10 ASEAN countries. The event celebrated the recent ASEAN economic community integration and encouraged various media outlets to exchange views on connecting with over 630 million ASEAN citizens. The Malaysian Minister of Communications and Multimedia, Datuk Seri Dr. Saleh Said Karuak, said that ASEAN media plays an important role in creating awareness and opportunities of the ASEAN economic community, as well as sharing information, culture and social values to cultivate good relations between nations. He expressed his hope that members of the press would also embrace social media as a major channel of communicating to the public. The ASEAN Editors Summit 2016 included guest speakers from ASEAN countries covering the relationship between ASEAN media and the ASEAN region. In other news happening around the world, artillery of the breakaway in Nagorno-Karabakh was silent at fighting positions after a ceasefire with the Azeri forces took effect. Soldiers show the media the site of recent fighting not far from the Iranian border, as used shell cases lay scattered in the ditches of fortifications. Officials in Nagorno-Karabakh, an ethnic Armenian region that rejects Azerbaijan's rule, said there was still some sporadic shooting, but that the intensity of the fighting had dropped off significantly. Several European countries have urged an end to the fighting, worried in part that it could cause instability in a region that serves as a corridor for pipelines taking oil and gas to world markets. Before the hostilities were halted, Azerbaijan said 16 of its servicemen had been killed in the previous 48 hours. Officials in the breakaway region said 29 of their soldiers had been killed since the fighting started and another 101 wounded. Rejected asylum seekers shipped to Turkey from Greece are being held in a repatriation center in northwest Turkey, awaiting decision if they are to be sent back to their home countries. The first group of 202 migrants, mostly Pakistani and Afghan, were shipped back to Turkey on Monday under an agreement which will see Ankara take back all migrants and refugees who crossed the Aegean to enter Greece illegally from March 20th. In return, the European Union will take in thousands of Syrian refugees directly from Turkey and reward it with money, visa-free travel and progress in its EU membership negotiations. The pact has been criticized by refugee agencies and human rights campaigners who have cast it as inhumane, questioned its legality and argued Turkey is not a safe country for refugees. Several dozen migrants being detained at a holding camp on the Greek island of Lesbos protested behind the barbed wire fence of a compound. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please write to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Ending the program today, we take you to Taiwan to have a look at the Tomb Sweeping Day in Taoyuan City. I'm Chulapansa Narula. Thank you very much once again for spending part of your day with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Sawasdee ka.